Alright, I thought this could be a fun idea for a video. I'm going to make one on both Purdy and Mahomes, so be on the lookout for the Mahomes one. But yeah, Brock Purdy, I figured let's go through some advanced stats he has and what maybe we can learn about him as a player. You do tend to learn a lot about not just the player, but the team in general when you do something like this, so let's do something like this. First, what you see on the bottom of the screen, just kind of a bunch of sort of various advanced stats I think are interesting for Purdy. So first, like a PFF grade, kind of a simple one. 6th best PFF grade and 1st best passer rating. Those are the first two. So we all know the results are very good, but according to Pro Football Focus, it's not just results. Yes, the results are a little better than the talent there, or like what Purdy himself is doing, I guess I should say, but Purdy is also still a key part in what's getting these results here. It's not like he's been trash, but the team is making up for it. He's been a good quarterback, and the team is still adding on to that value, creating the first passer rating and first best passer rating in football. The only real downside, the only real negative you see with Purdy is the turnover-worthy play percentage is, quite frankly, rough. 28th in football. Now, it's worth mentioning there's about 40, a little bit over 40 eligible quarterbacks. So you hear 28th and you might think, wow, that's like bottom 5. Not exactly. It's actually, worse than average, but not significantly worse than average, but still on the downside, and we're talking closer to worse than first, right? So definitely a bad turnover-worthy percentage ranking for Purdy. He'll put the ball in harm's way. He will. It's part of his downside. But what's interesting is the next stat, big BTT, which is big time throw, and I'm using percentage for both of these. So big time throw percentage, 5th best big time throw rate in football. So he gets credit for a lot of big plays down the field. So if you kind of view Purdy as just a game manager, well, this is almost the opposite. He's actually not doing a great job at managing the game. He puts the ball in harm's way, but does a great job at making up for it with his big-time throws, which is, again, maybe not what people would have thought. Also, the adjusted completion percentage is 8th best in football, so he still does put the ball in a good spot consistently, but it's not because he's dinking and dunking necessarily. Average depth of target is the next stat, which is still 15th best in football. So, again, not crazy, not pushing the ball super far down the field, although sometimes having a high average depth of target isn't exactly a good thing, but it's usually better to have it higher than lower. Also, the final stat, TTT, that's time to throw, 14th quickest time to throw in football. So again, on the faster side, nothing crazy there. But yeah, the kind of notable stats, I think the big time throw rate and the turnover-worthy play percentage are notable, and also the PFF grade and passer rating, very notable as well. This chart is super fascinating to me. So this is, when he throws the ball down the field, what are the results? So deep is 20 plus yards down the field, medium is 10 to 19, short is under 10, and then -0 is when you throw it behind the line of scrimmage. So you see, when he throws the ball 20 yards or more down the field, best Pro Football Focus grade in football and 2nd best passer rating. So when the 49ers push the ball down the field, few are more dangerous, and debatably none are more dangerous than Brock Purdy this season, interestingly enough. Medium, still good passer rating. The kind of PFF grade is middling in that both the 10 to 19 range and also the 9 to 0 range. So, kind of okay there. But the results much better still when you go to the 10 to 19 range. Short, it's still good. If this is your negative, which is your only 22nd best when you throw 0 to 9 yards down the field, you'll usually take that. Also, interestingly, the kind of below 0, a lot of times I won't even include this in some of these when I do these videos because I kind of feel like it's really not a quarterback stat at this point. You look at the quarterback PFF grades, like the difference between like 1st and 20th is usually like only a couple of points. Like there's not a lot a quarterback can do on behind the line of scrimmage plays. You kind of, usually the play kind of either works or it doesn't, and then there's the occasional example where something goes wrong and you have to figure out what to do, but those are rare. So, I wouldn't say like, oh, he's lucky. Like, it's more so just the team is really good at, behind the line of scrimmage stuff is how I would phrase it. This is probably the most interesting chart to look at in this whole video, although don't click off after it. There's still some interesting stuff after this, but you see his, this is how long you're holding onto the football, how well do your numbers get? How good do your numbers get? So, does he, when he gets rid of the football in under 2.5 seconds, he has the 31st Pro Football Focus grade out of, I believe, on 40 eligible quarterbacks, but the highest passer rating in those scenarios. When he holds onto the ball for more than 2.5 seconds, second best PFF grade and highest passer rating. So highest passer rating either way, which again, going into a Super Bowl, you don't care if it's him or if it's has nothing to do with him. You just hope it's working, and it's working either way, so you feel good about that. But for Brock Purdy, I think that definitely you could look at the negative right at the bat, right? Oh my God, 31st Pro Football Focus grade. There you go, system quarterback. But to me, this actually shows me why I think Purdy is kind of a perfect fit for this system, because even if he's only the 31st best Pro Football Focus graded player in those under 2.5 second plays, it doesn't matter. It's still the highest passer rating quarterback in that situation because of how good the Shanahan scheme is. But then when plays break down and he has to figure something else out, because that's why you do the 2.5 second cutoff. Usually that's when a play kind of breaks down. And when they do break down, he is great at those things. He's legitimately been awesome in that scenario this season, and because of that, the Shanahan scheme already gets so many yards and points and touchdowns, but when it doesn't work, he can then do the rest of the work, like we saw in Detroit a little bit, or against Detroit, I should say. We saw that. So that's, to me, a really interesting situation. And, again, who knows? Maybe the goal was for the Chiefs to try to jump some of those routes into under 2.5 second stuff, because he will put the ball in harm's way, like I said. But still, super interesting stuff here. Also, the under pressure versus not under pressure and blitzed versus not blitzed numbers. So you see that when he's under pressure, and again, this is compared to other guys when they're under pressure, 11th best Pro Football Focus grade, 5th best passer rating. But when he's not under pressure, he is better. 6th best Pro Football Focus grade and best passer rating. Meanwhile, for the blitzed versus not blitzed, he's actually better when he's blitzed. 6th best Pro Football Focus grade, 2nd best passer rating. But the numbers are still better when not blitzed. 14th best and then 1st best. So, his personal PFF grade is a little better when he's blitzed, but the results are a little better when he's not blitzed, interestingly enough. But either way, again, if you're the Chiefs looking at this, you don't look at this and say, well, there's our strategy, that's what we should do. You just don't. There's no clear weakness for Purdy in his numbers. There's no denying that. The only thing is, if he puts the ball in harm's way, you gotta take advantage, which you can say that about any quarterback, right? Like the mindset going in is the same thing. There's no there's no clear blueprint for Purdy or anything like that you can see with statistics, at least that I've seen. Maybe there's some stat I didn't pay attention to, but I don't think so. So, again, do you blitz Purdy? Well, yeah, I think that you kind of do what you usually do. If you're a team that blitzes, you should still blitz. If you're a team that doesn't blitz, you should still not blitz. That seems to be the better strategy there. And again, obviously, every quarterback is worse when they're pressured, but, and Purdy's numbers are a little bit worse when he's under pressure in relation to his peers than when he's not under pressure in relation to his peers. But again, nothing that would, I think, flip the game. He's not one of those quarterbacks that falls apart if he's under pressure. So, as a whole, Purdy's advanced stats, they're very good. They are. Purdy's advanced stats are really good. And it kind of goes to show he is really kind of the perfect quarterback for this scheme, it feels like, if nothing else. So, Chiefs fans, if you're hoping to look into this and all the advanced stats say he's absolutely terrible when he's playing teams that play out of Kansas City, did not see anything to indicate that. So nothing to get too excited about there, but definitely stuff to get excited about if you're a 49ers fan. That's what I think about all this. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from y'all. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.